Now we're gonna be looking at subject. I've been starving. I've been hungry to go in anyway. Still, yeah, because so many things have been happening that I wanted to talk about that I was just stuck because I've just been stuck. But anyway, we're here. I don't think it's extra celebrity gospel musical back origin. This is your boy here, Roger Moore. I am just saying to people, this is just my personal opinion. This is not the station's opinion. And on top of that opinion, you can put loads of things in the comments and I will get back to you if I can. Even in the video, I'll get back to you. That's what I want to start doing, responding to some of the comments that you put out there still. It's whether it's positive or negative, actually. I should put ones that are positive responses out there, you know. But this is myself here now. What bump into me now is the response of the Egyptian of the dominant race in Egypt, which is more what we would call these days Arab people of Egypt. Now, there have been major complaints to Netflix because of deception in the docu-series, because they have someone who is mixed European and African, which you could almost say is almost what Egyptians probably are anyway still, yeah, but in inverted commas now what Egypt has been known for, and now whether you're Egyptians may give me some kickback on this, but darker skinned people have had faced been don't really have a great time in Egypt. There's a lot of YouTube videos out about that. So I am not saying, but anyway, they're complaining about Cleopatra because they've decided to have a Cleopatra with a sub-Sahara Africa. Now, Africa for me is one. Now, I've been doing some studies on the makeup of Africa anyway still, yeah, in terms of how did Africa see itself in them days, and Africa and to be honest, the areas of Saudi Arabia, they just saw themselves as one country. And believe it or not, Egypt, how we see today, it's not how we see it today. It's like this, like the sea feeds into Egypt and it goes down into Africa, but the situation is it starts up there and it works its way down the Nile to Egypt. So and so on there, but you know, this is not here to justify whether Cleopatra is black or white and whatsoever, because at the end of the day, so on this day, I still think modern culture still hasn't really represented well the Nubian influence within Egypt. Some of the great technicians in Egypt that developed the pyramids, or the size of the pyramids, the evidence is there in Kush, in modern Sudan, where there's more pyramids and bigger pyramids in Sudan than there are in Egypt, but we only hear about Egypt. Yeah, but that's a whole nother thing. And trust me, when you look at people in Sudan, they're not all looking like Egyptians, and that's just the next country a little bit down. So everyone is awesome turns dark all overnight. So also throwing out there, people talk about what did the Egyptians look like. Simon of Cyrene is in modern day Libya, in the north. There, they referred to him as Simon Cyrene, the black man. You know what I'm saying? That's how people saw him as, you know what I mean, in the Bible. So you go, hold on a second. So people coming from Africa, from North Africa in Bible times, they would look kind of, they refined them for black man. But then I'm looking at Cleopatra. I got a friend who is married to an Egyptian, and she's not too far off that same complexion. If it's a complexion thing, it's just really amazing the insult and how the outrage, the suing that's going on from this. But let me pose out a question here. What is the worst depiction of this or this dude here? This dude is apparently Jesus, and he looks like this. And we've had to face this false interpretation of Jesus for the past 1,000 years or whatsoever, that he was a white guy, and he was never a white guy. There weren't no white guys in Israel at the time. Now it's okay for us as browner people to sit under a power dynamic of Jesus Christ, but it's amazing, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong that Egyptians have kicked off about it, but it's just amazing the kickback about Cleopatra. And yet when I say to black people, if we actually turned Jesus Christ to a different color and delete all them, you'll see a response, and I guarantee, look at his response, man. But everyone's cool because in our minds, we still think that Jesus is white, but we don't say it, you know what I mean? We go, oh no. Well, delete the pictures and replace them. And do some research to know that, you know what, still, even Paul was referred to a terrorist from Egypt. That means he looked different to the people in Italy. So different that they could say, yo, you from Egypt, bro. So was Egyptians really looking similar to the Southern Europeans? They probably look more like the more like the Sudanese people, the Nubian people. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's something to throw out to people, you know what I mean, and something to think about. But I do think that we've been absolutely mugged off on con on that one there still, yeah. And that's an image which people have actually thought that, you know, I think back in the day they came up with something that they feel like Jesus would look like. Oh boy, I seen this image of Jesus when I was a youth, all over the places, all our wars, especially black people's wars. And I'm not saying that we're not going to go to heaven because of that image. All I'm saying is that, really? You know what I'm saying? You know, and going back to to my Egyptian brothers anyway and sisters, it's amazing how no one kicks off when we're looking at all these Bible stories and there's barely a black person in there. When it was, yeah, you wouldn't say that's the truth. So it's amazing how when we kind of make a kickback, it's that there's a problem. But you know, fair play, Egypt, do your suing, sue what you need to sue. If it makes you feel better, they reckon that her lineage makes her Greek. They got some body in the hair, you know. What anyway. Yeah, so they said that she's Greek. So I mix with Persian, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you perceive Persian is, yeah. At end of the day, guys, what modern Persia is, what modern Greece is, whatever we see modern is not what it was in biblical times. They weren't quite direct. Maybe you could argue about Greece, but not so much. Some of the nations were a bit different anyway, so yeah, especially African nations, the lines have been redrawn over many times anyway, so yeah, thanks to colonization anyway, so yeah. But this is how I feel about Cleopatra scenario. I'm not a fan of what the responses are. I will kick back. I'm not impressed. I'm not gonna say that Cleopatra was black. I know some of the trailers did say that, which was offensive to the people of Egypt, but it's amazing how people take offense when they're being referred to as having an element of sub-Saharan blood into them, and that's the black people, which, you know, a lot of us Afro slaves are Bantu people, and they're saying that it's an insult to be referred to as Bantu people, but yet they were cool to see an English person represent Cleopatra. Modern times. Listen, guys.
All the time, God is good all the time. All the time, red and wine, I got you.
Hi, and thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you like, and you comment, and make sure that you're sharing the videos and watching so much more. We have loads of content for you. I hope you enjoy. See you soon.